My first guest hails from the Golden State of California, although she currently resides in Nashville and holds the honor of being the only person to appear on multiple episodes of Luck Reunion's Hello Walls. Please welcome Molly Tuttle.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Things are good in Nashville. We've been having pretty intense storms today, so I'm glad my connection is working. At least.
Oh wow! Is that why your tech test ran over there?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh boy, well, no tornadoes, right?
No, thankfully.
Yeah, good. I like your backdrop. It looks like you have a peacock standing behind you.
I know. I ordered this a while ago just because I kind of liked it. I found it on Amazon and I liked the vibe of it, and now it's become my new live stream background. So
nice. Yeah, you're well prepared for this new reality.
I know.
So, besides doing, episodes of Hello Walls, what are you doing right now to keep busy?
I've been working on my recording gear, doing some little home recordings of different covers I've been playing for years, but I've never actually recorded. So that's kind of keeping me busy, trying to go for walks just to break up the day a bit. But yeah.
Like what, when you say cover songs, like what kind of cover songs? 'Cause I know you came up in the world of bluegrass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is it like bluegrass tunes or what kind of?
I've been recording some that are like a little more unexpected, I think, for my bluegrass fans to hear from me. So like other influences, like the other day I recorded this Rancid song because I listened to them in middle school growing up in the Bay Area. Right. All my friends were obsessed with them.
Yeah, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
Is it a bluegrassy version of which Rancid song is it?
Olympia, Washington. And I learned that on tour when I was playing in Olympia. It was like the day we were playing the show, it was just randomly popped into my head again. And I was like, I have to learn this to play in Olympia. So
did you have some punk rock roots?
Like really, really slightly, just in like 7th grade and 8th grade, having like a little band where we'd cover mostly Rancid and Operation Ivy. And we would do like Rage Against the Machine covers and like Green Day covers. Those were our favorites.
That is really like the image in my head of you covering a Rage Against the Machine song is priceless. That's great.
I know, and I know you were in punk bands too. Like
yeah. I mean that was my world for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, what I'm always curious. I've interviewed a lot of people over the years that grew up around bluegrass and playing bluegrass, and usually it seems like it comes from their families, and it seems like a really like I don't know, like a scene with a really strong community kind of around it. And I'm always curious when I meet folks, like what do you think drew you to that music instead of like the stuff that you're talking about, or hip hop, or whatever the sort of current thing was that other kids at your school were listening to?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was like through family. My grandpa played banjo, and he was the first one in my family to really have an instrument and like fall in love with bluegrass. And so he kind of taught my dad how to play, although my dad just kind of soaked it up from the environment, like growing up with a dad who played music and hearing bluegrass records. And then when my dad moved out to California from Illinois, he just randomly kind of started teaching guitar and banjo, and then that ended up becoming his whole career for years and years, and he still teaches. So I grew up hearing bluegrass and hearing him play, and he would have jam sessions at the house. And I think the whole community of going to festivals and jamming with people and then having family who played really drew me into it. It was like a really fun way of connecting with people.
On that tip, would you like to play us something now? Maybe
sure.
I want to hear your bluegrass version of the Rancid song, but but if that's not what you prepared, just play whatever you want.
Yeah, I can do that after this one. I have 2 guitars, so this one isn't the tuning for the Rancid song, but I could do this one, and then if there's time for another one, or I could just do the Rancid one.
No, whatever you want to do, whatever you got in your hand, just play that. That would be great.
Let me do the Rancid one. I think that would actually be really fun.
Something tells me this might be the first time a Rancid song has ever been played in the bluegrass style, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I have like a couple bluegrass friends who are like secret Operation Ivy and Rancid fans, and so we get together, and one of my friends, Lindsay Lou, she loves them too, so we'll work up covers together. And then our other friend John Stickley, who's a great bluegrass guitar player, loves them too. So it's like a little underground network of secret
That's
fans.
like a real. There's like a little, obviously within the umbrella of punk rock, there's all these different, subgenres within that. And there is there's like cowpunk and all that, but there's a certain kind of punk rocker that eventually like goes through the punk rock thing and finds Hank Williams and Buck Owens through that. You know what I mean? Like that is like a thing, there's an archetype for that. Anyway, take it away.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the devil, there was something burning deep inside me. Ran into 3 Puerto Ricans. These girls took us to the fun house where we played a lonely long machine. Hanging on the corner of 52nd and Broadway. The cars passed me by, but none of them seemed to go my way. Gets all too demanding. She's all gone and stranded. Something burning deep inside me. All I know, it's 4 o'clock and she ain't never showed up there. I watched 1,000 people go backward. Hanging on the corner of 52nd Broadway. The cars pass me by, but none seemed to go my way. New York City, well, I wish I was on the highway. Back to Olympia. How many times will it take me before I go crazy? Before I lose everything? Something burning deep inside me. Ran into 3 Puerto Ricans. Girls took us to the fun house. I don't wanna be alone. Hanging on the corner of 52nd and Broadway. Cars pass me by, but no one seems to get my way. New York City, well, I wish I was on the highway. Back to Olympia.
Thank you. I love that applause.
Yeah. That's my favorite version of that song ever. Are you kidding me? That was
thanks.
so great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
I was-
asking. I hadn't planned on playing that one, but that was really fun. Thanks for asking me to do it.
Oh, that's great. I hope the guys in Rancid see that. That's amazing.
That would be my dream.
I'm gonna send it to them for sure. I was thinking when I was watching you just now playing that, the first time you ever came across my radar, it was like a YouTube clip of you playing, I don't know what song, I don't remember what song it was, but it was you just tearing it up, like bluegrass guitar, just like doing some super shred bluegrass stuff. And so I wanted to ask you if you could show us, like pull out what's like you're at the guitar pole with your buddies, and everybody's like passing that around the solo, the solo ball, and it comes to you, and what's your one that you like to? What's your one to win? What's the one that you pull out to win? Show us that.
Oh, that's a really good question. I guess if I had to think of one kind of quintessential like flat picking thing that I do is when I play the Townes Van Zandt song White Freightliner. That's the one people always request when I can tell they're like guitar nerds. They're like, play that one.
I think that's the one that I saw you playing. That's the one.
If I was gonna do like a solo from that, it would be like. Kind of so on and so on.
I mean, okay, now I need you to videotape that really, really slow and send that to me later so I can try to, I'll learn it like, quarter speed. That's amazing. Like I know you went to Berkeley School of Music, but did you have those kind of chops already before you went off to music school?
I would say like I kind of had some like technical abilities worked out, like my own kind of techniques with my right hand playing and left hand playing. And then when I went to Berkeley, they really filled in like all the theory and like learning the fingerboard and actually learning what was behind everything I was playing, which helped me kind of find my own style a little bit more with like my actual ideas, not just like endless fast notes.
Right. I mean, does that help or hinder with songwriting? Because I found like, the time that I grew up in was like shredder guitar time and everything. It was all about everything being really complex and a million notes and, all that sort of thing. And so I sort of grew up with this idea of like it had to be difficult to have merit, you know what I mean? And so when it comes to like country music and Americana and roots music, it's sort of like, felt like it took me a really long time to get comfortable with simplicity and sort of embracing, a 3-chord song, which really that's like my favorite stuff. But trying to write it, I'd write stuff and I'd go, what the fuck? That's just like a G and a C and a D. Like I can't call that a song. You know what I mean? Like does that knowledge base help or hurt? Like do they sort of focus on songwriting there, or is it more on the craft side?
I definitely focused on like guitar and songwriting. So I was a guitar like principal there. So I had mostly guitar classes, and then each semester I would have like a couple of credits that I'd usually use to take songwriting classes. So I feel like I get what you're saying, because I feel like going to college for music for a couple of years gave me all this knowledge that there was so many ways to make it more complicated. But then I also grew up playing like 3-chord music. So in the same way, like really what I'm drawn to is like writing a song with 3 chords. But then I have this voice in my head that's like, no, that's too simple, like you need to add more stuff in there. So I don't know, it's like a constant struggle between those two.
Yeah, feelings. It's funny, then you go into the studio and the producer's like, nope, take out all that nonsense, you don't need that.
Yeah.
Simplify it. Mm-hmm. Hey, well, one last question before you play another song. Everyone knows folks like bluegrass legends like Bill Monroe or Flatt and Scruggs or whoever, but who are some of the lesser known people? Like who are some people that I wouldn't know that would have been an influence on you?
Mm-hmm. I would say definitely Hazel Dickens. And I think she's like a definite hero in the bluegrass world, but not that many people who like know bluegrass but aren't super deep into the world would find her stuff as easily. She just has amazing songs that she wrote, and she was really like one of the first women to have her own band. She had this duo with Alice Gerrard. So there's an album called Hazel Dickens and Alice Gerrard that's amazing, and 2 women singing in harmony, which like in those days especially was really rare. But they both have like the most raw voices in their songwriting. They tackle a lot of subjects, like how basically what it was like to be a woman in those times in the bluegrass world, which I think was pretty hard from the interviews I've read with her. So she's one of my favorites for sure. And then my California, like bluegrass hero is this guy, Vern Williams, who was from Arkansas originally and moved out to California. And he really like started this whole scene of people who play traditional bluegrass in California. And his stuff is also like really rough around the edges, but it's awesome. There's this album he has called Bluegrass in the Gold Country that's super cool.
All right. Well, I'll have to do some rooting around. When was Hazel Dickens like active? Like what era would that have been?
I want to say like, I could be wrong, but I want to say like 70s and 80s. I know she passed away when I was in high school, I think. And I got to see her once as a kid, but she was not playing so much anymore. She was pretty old by the time I got to see her.
All right. Well, would you like to play us another song?
Sure. I will switch guitars here. I'm realizing like now that I'm home, I think I like lost all of my guitar stands on tour just at different venues. So I'm just laying guitars on the floor of my room, and it's like every time I pick one up, it like makes a loud crashing noise.
That can be dangerous.
Yeah. All right.
Trying to make out where you are. No, I do the best I can, but I can't take this anymore. Letters get shorter, the days get longer. I call across the border, it's stuck on the line. Save this heart of mine. Darling, don't forsake my hand. Swear the light is not too far. Think I finally understand what you've known clearly from the start. Your letters get shorter, the days get longer. I call across the border, it's static on the line. Save this heart of mine. Do you feel me in your blood? Am I the poison in your veins? Deep down I know you were the one. Is it too little, too late? Your letters get shorter, the days get longer. I call across the border, it's static on the line. Save this heart of mine. Save this heart of mine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for doing this today. I really appreciate
Oh, thanks so much for having me. It's so nice to connect with you.
it. For sure. I'm gonna hit you up really soon
Awesome.
about getting that interview done that we've been talking about for my podcast.
Oh, yeah,
And
that would be so much fun.
Where can people find you if they're looking for you right now
They
during
can-
the pandemic?
I'm doing little lives on my Instagram and Facebook accounts, going live with friends every now and then. And they can go to my website to find all my social media stuff and just keep tabs on what I'm up to. Yeah, those are probably the best
All
ways.
righty. Good deal. Thank you so much. Thank you for the guitar lesson.
Oh,
I'll
I gotta
be
get
looking
one
for
from
that.
you.
Yeah, yeah, right. I'll be looking for that slowed down version in my inbox later. Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if watching you play inspires me or makes me want to throw my guitar in the trash.
I could say the same for you.
All right, well, thanks, Molly. Take care.
Thanks so much for having me.